This is the rear brake assembly on a Suzuki XL 1500. Now I'm going to change the brake pads on it. I've got them changed already, so I'm going to go backwards so you can see the clean brake pads, because I think you can see more. You don't have to remove any of this, you don't have to remove any of these, you just leave everything pretty much where it is. All I did was lift my saddlebag up off the saddlebag holder here. Now what I got to do is go in here and pop open your cover, and so that's just held on by a clip, so let's get that out of there. I'll show you a close-up on that. You can see just for clips on the back side, and then you just pop it into place on the front. Pretty easy. Now you see what's going on inside here. Let's get a closer look. Now let me point these things out to you. This is called the retainer pin, this is the retainer pin clip, and this is a mustache clip. They got to come out in a certain order, and when you do it right, it comes out quite easily. Now the first thing you want to do is rotate this retainer pin so that you can get to your clip if it's turned upside down. So once that clip is up there in the top, like you see now, what you want to do is you got to get that pin out of there. So what you do is you go into the middle section here, grab a hold of the pin and pull it toward you just about 1/8 of an inch or so. And you'll see that that pin starts to stick out, and that gives you something to grab onto. Okay, so then you're going to pull that out. But before you pull that out, make sure you have your finger on that retainer clip when you pull these pins out. Otherwise, they can go flying all over the place and you'll lose them. Now you pull it out until you feel it release the clip. You don't pull it all the way out. You only pull it out until you feel that. See the clip released? Now you take that pin out of there, and that's your mustache clip. Okay, now we're going to get the other one out. We want to hold it down and pull the pin out all the way. Now we can get the mustache clip out of there as well without it flying all over the place. There we go. Now all we got to do is remove the last pin just by pulling it straight out. Pretty easy to do that one. Notice you got your retainer clip pinhole right there, so that's going to always be going last when you push it back in through. This piston right here is going to be sticking out a little bit, and here's the reason why. Is the old pad that you took out of there is going to be a lot thinner than the new pad you're going to be putting in. So you won't be able to put your pad in until you compress that piston. The way you do that is you can put the old pad in against the disc and just use it as a lever and push that piston right back in place like so. And it should go in fairly easily. And you do it again on the front piston as well. That gives you plenty of clearance now to drop in your new pads. Here's a trick I learned. You see the back of this pad? This is the old pad I took out. So you see some little wear marks in here. Well, a car mechanic told me that there's 2 reasons why a brake will squeal. Number one, if your pad's gone and you're metal on metal against your disc. The second way, he said, is right in here. He said that when you hit your brakes, this can cause a vibration, or a vibration can happen here, and it'll sound like a squeal. And the way to do that is just with your new pad, just take a very tiny amount of grease and put it on the back side where your piston is going to lay. You want to make sure you don't get any grease on there, and be careful you don't accidentally transfer any grease to the disc itself or to the pad. Otherwise your brakes won't work. Okay, now you want to put your brake pad back in facing the disc. Okay, both pads go in facing the disc. Now, a little bit of grease. They might fall all the way through, but that's not a problem here. So now, the easiest one to get in first is going to be this one here. Once you get that one in, it'll kind of hold everything in place for you. Now when you started it out, it's easiest to pull the rear pin first to get to everything. Now you want to do everything in reverse. You want to put the front pin in first this time. You want to bottom it out so you can see that little pinhole at the top of the retainer pin. Now that we got that first retainer pin in and the clip, now we can put in the mustache clips. You take the mustache clip and you go under the bar and hook it like so. You see that? Okay, now we're going to have to do some tricks with this thing. I'm going to slide this over into the middle, and that end of the clip is going to have to be pushed down by your finger so you can put the other pin in. There's your mustache clip. You want to make sure it goes under the retainer pin on the inside. Now you see how the end of that sticks up a little bit? Well, you're going to have to push that down so you can get your pin in. So what you want to do is push down on the pin and work the pin through with your finger depressing the mustache clip until you can push past it. Now you see the mustache clip stays in place and the pin can go through the back side, where you can repeat that process now with the same technique. So now I got to get past the mustache clip and into the hole and get it to bottom out completely. Sometimes you got to work it in and the alignment's got to be exactly right. So then once you get it in, you drive that pin home completely. Once I got it lined up, then you can push the pin in all the way. Look down inside so you can see where that retainer pin opening is going to be at the top, where you can get to it. Hard to see it. There you go, the retainer pin's on the top. Now I got to put in the retainer pin itself, and that goes in like so. It doesn't matter if it's facing that way or this way, it really doesn't matter. And then just push it home. There's your brakes are done. Now all you got to do is hit your brakes a couple of times and you'll see it compress them, and then put your clip back in, or cover plate back in, and you're done changing your brakes.